Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Suburban Prepper checking in today at our 4 o'clock Saturday night Livio. And we're just going to do a quick sound check. Just bear with me for a second. How's everybody doing this weekend? Okay, doing all right. And I got myself live, so I'm ready to go. Okay, that was a quick check. Got the mic on right correctly. Ready to rock and roll this stream, okay? So let's do a quick update on my LR300. I notified the manufacturer that I need a bolt. The charging handle that attaches to the bolt, they haven't responded back yet. I'm getting a little upset. Maybe because it was a holiday last week. I'm going to call them this week, and I'm sure we'll get it settled. If it came down to it, I could get a hex screw, something a little bit larger than this, I guess, and just do it myself. And then just leave them bad reviews if they don't send it to me or something. I don't know. I really don't want to. I don't want to do a review until after I get to shoot it. Okay. Update on my 50 BMG. I have it packed up, ready to go. I want to just change out a couple parts, and I'm going to make a video on my 50 BMG. It's a Serbo, big ass BMG. So in the back part, I got these parts here I want to connect. And what I'm going to do is just put this through here and get it all screwed in and get it all dress ready front. And then I'll do an update, and I plan on going to the gun range this week down by Connorsville. Let me turn this phone off. And that's update on my 50 BMG. In the background, you might hear the Harvest Right freeze dryer going. Of course, that's okay. That means it's working. For freeze drying some chicken gizzards. All right, so let's do an Iran update. I made a pretty good video this week about the history between us and Iran. Went back when it was called Persia, back when it became an Islamic State. The only update that I got for you is no nukes, no troops, I'm not sure. If anybody said that they know anything else, they'd be lying. Of course, I'm referring to American, I'm referring to nukes, and Trump hasn't specified whether we're going to get too involved with that or not. The way I see it, we've been at war with them since 1979. We'll do an update on my garden. Everything's going along smoothly. I'm still weeding it. Today I transplanted for the first time some tomatoes, and I was pretty excited about that because that took a little while to transplant and get them ready. I think I have about 5 tomatoes going, and I have about 4 more that'll be ready for transplant in the next week or so. I got all my zucchini transplanted in the ground, gave them a good watering today, and I'm still trying to grow my eggplant. They're a slow crop. I should have realized that from last year. But if it comes down to it, I do have my greenhouse set up. Well, no, it's not set up. I have part of it outside. I'm going to build it. It was Really hot today. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick update. I use this to grab the weeds. All right, now the contact surface here, I'm going to add some tape so it has an increased surface area, some 100-mile-an-hour tape, of course. And now I just grab the weed and I pull it out, or I twist it and pull it out. It works pretty good. It's just and then it folds up. That's the good thing. It's just the length that I need it, that I still have good wrist control. As you can see here, it folds up pretty good, locks into place. The only thing I would add here is some tape. I'm going to wrap up some tape to it, just on the bottom part, so where it connects, there's more of a connection area, so I can grab more stuff. Okay, well, this is my baby Bach, my stuffy. Anyway, that's that. So this week's giveaway winner, we're going to do that at the end of the show, okay? So stay tuned. As you know, I'm a nurse practitioner and I practice in a clinic. And I like to do alternative medicine to my best of my knowledge. I'm going to try to zoom this in just a little bit. I'm going to go to the camera and see how that looks. So today, I'm going to do a video on, you guessed it, pain control. Why pain control? Because that is people come in to see us all the time for pain control. And it's good to know what the primary and the alternative cares are for pain control, right? Now, obviously, I'm not going to go over how to take Motrin, naproxen, duloxetine, gabapentin. No. I'm going to go over naturopathics for pain control and what we can do to help control pain. Good, I can hear myself talk. So I just want to make sure I got that going. One thing I'm going to do is take this microphone out and put it right here. I think it works better when I have it right here versus having it so far away. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Pain management, as you know, is a crucial aspect in maintaining good quality of life, especially for individuals dealing with chronic pain or discomfort. Ironically, I actually brought in my salon spas here, which are prescribed to me, that I use for part of my pain control. While conventional medicine offers numerous solutions, it does, herbal supplements have grown in popularity as more of these are natural alternatives. These herbs have been used for thousands of years across different cultures and continue to show promising effects in managing pain. If you're seeking natural ways to relieve discomfort, here's a guide to some of what's available right now. Now, the way I do it is I go over pain control, and what I recommend is the supplements in a tablet form, okay? Now, there's different ways to kill a beast, so to speak, or whatever the term is. That's my dog upstairs barking. It's okay. There's people walking by. Anyway, benefits of herbal supplemental pain control. Herbal supplements typically have fewer side effects as when compared with, let's just face it, opioids, okay, and anti-inflammatories that kill the kidneys. Many herbs can address different types of pain, okay, whereas certain pills just address one or two types of pain. Inflammation, headaches, or muscle soreness in general. And there's complementary uses. They can have complement ongoing treatment when used correctly. Talk with your healthcare provider, especially when combining therapies, especially for certain, even naturopathic medicines that can thin the blood. So the top herbal supplements for pain relief that I want to discuss today. Okay. What do you think the first one's going to be, folks? What do you think? Turmeric, of course. Turmeric is for everything. It's the key ingredient is curcumin. It's an anti-inflammatory, helpful especially with joint pain caused by arthritis. It blocks inflammation at the molecular level, and this has been well documented. I recommend taking it as capsules, okay? And then you can add it with black pepper to enhance the absorption. Next is ginger. It reduces muscle pain, soreness, and actually menstrual cramps. It inhibits inflammatory pathways in the body. I'm growing ginger in my backyard this year, folks, if you hadn't known, but that's why I want to take it. And it's great for nausea too. And if you can't grow ginger or you don't want to mess with any of that, your alternative is ginger supplements. In fact, right now I have a ginger chew in my mouth. Excuse me, folks. I'm going to have a little sip of my drink, okay? Number 3 is willow bark. The key ingredient is salicin. If that sounds a lot similar to salicylic acid, it is because it's a precursor to aspirin. It's often referred to as nature's aspirin. It's good against headaches, back pain, and arthritis. You can take it as a tea or a capsule. And that's the one where I'm going to warn you about if you're on blood thinners. And anytime you put something in your body, you want to research it. Okay? So do your own research. I'm going over this. You've got to find out what works for you. That was a lucky save. I dropped this and it fell right on my ankle and I grabbed it before I hit the ground. Lucky save. It's a lucky day. So I'm talking about capsules today, okay, guys and ladies? Boswellia. And of course, the key ingredient is boswellic acid. It's also known as Indian frankincense. It's known for reducing inflammation and alleviating chronic joint pain. And of course, it comes in a cream or a capsule, but then again, I only go over the capsules, okay? And then there's capsaicin. It's from hot chili peppers. Capsaicin is great for managing nerve pain and reducing signals when pain is applied topically. And you can get it in patches or creams. It's pretty hard to put it in a tablet form, and it's great to if you can grow it and mix it with some type of oil and rub it on. That's what I tried to do last year. So earlier I touched off on the synergy between hot pepper and turmeric. I want to go into that a little bit more. Combining pepper and turmeric can create a powerful duo for pain control, okay? 2 in 1. The pepper provides immediate relief by blocking pain signals. Turmeric works at the source by reducing inflammation. So you'll see, and if you look below on my page, on my YouTube page here, I got some affiliate links. I have turmeric and black pepper that you can take in combination. Okay. Next one here is, I call it devil's claw. The key ingredient is harpagoside. It's good for reducing back pain, joint pain, osteoarthritis related comfort. That's when you start getting your bone on bone. And of course, I talk about taking it as a powder. And then, of course, there's valerian root. That's from valerianic acid. It's a sedative. It's known for easing muscle, headaches, tension, and stress-related pain. It comes in a tablet form, or you can take it in capsules or tea. Now, number 8 here, this is where I'm going to have a sip, okay? And I'm going to regret or digress here for a second. So not all these supplements are legal in every state. So far, the ones I've talked about are kratom. While legal at the federal level, it's often illegal in the state levels, okay? It controls chronic pain with severe conditions, but it's very potent, so you got to be careful. It's taken as a capsule, and you need to consult with a professional naturopathic for appropriate dosage. That's as if it's even legal in your state. It comes from a tree called the Mitragana. It's native to Southeast Asia, and it helps with pain and controversy. It's got its herbal benefits. It's been used for centuries, thousands of years in Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia. And we'll talk about what is kratom. You know, it's an evergreen tree that belongs to that evergreen family in Asia. And it has hormones that bind to opioid receptors in the brain, much like narcotics do, okay? These in the leaves have been chewed, brewed into tea, or consumed as dried powder for their stimulant and sedative properties. So they're available in powders, capsules, and tablets, and teas. And there's some concentrated forms of kratom for stronger effects. It's available at energy and focus at lower doses. Acts as a mild stimulant, okay. And it's known with opioid receptors for managing chronic pain, with users often turning to it as an alternative to prescribed pain relievers. Helps with relaxation and stress. If you're trying to get off opioids, this could be some support as a means of withdrawal. In itself, that's pretty intense, okay? If I understand why a lot of states have, but not in our state, the effects are dependent on the dose, okay? So at lower doses, there's higher energies of a level of energy and alertness, okay? Reduced pain, there's a calmness, increased motivation and social ability. Let's just let that sit in for a second, folks. What does that sound like? Side effects: nausea and vomiting, dizziness or drowsiness, constipation. And here's the thing: dependency with extended use. So, sounds like a controlled drug to me. Everyone varies differently, okay? The legal status of kratom varies from state to state, and it's illegal in several states due to its Schedule I controlled substance. Alabama, it's banned, okay? Arkansas, it's been banned since 2016. Indiana, it's a synthetic drug, and it's banned under state law. Rhode Island, nope. Vermont, no. Wisconsin, you can't. It's an illegal drug. So obviously, I'm not even going to bother listing it on my page, my YouTube page with affiliated links. I just don't want to get that kind of trouble. So stay informed about the legal status of anything before you take it. Countries like Thailand have decriminalized kratom, but Malaysia and Australia continue to regulate or prohibit it. It does show some promise. It's crucial to use it responsibly. Excuse me. And some healthcare professionals will tell you no. Okay. Next one is St. John's wort. The key ingredient is hypericin. It combats nerve pain and mild discomfort associated with conditions like sciatica. It's in a capsule, oil, or tea. Number 10 is feverfew. you hadn't noticed, folks, on a lot of my videos, a lot of these naturopathics, as I call them, herbals, keep coming up. Now, today's video is about naturopathics for pain control, but there's other uses. It helps with inflammation and migraines, the fever few, okay? And then one thing I have in my backyard growing out as a weed is wild lettuce, okay? And I take wild lettuce in a supplement form. Now, it's also known as Lactuca virosa. It's a leafy plant found in the world. While it resembles common lettuce, the one that you find in your salad, wild lettuce has no place on your plate because it's bitter. It's known for its milky sap, and that's the compound used for pain relief. It's got documented healing properties, and some of the properties it offers: natural pain relief. Some people call it opioid. Let me fix that. Opioid lettuce, because it mimics opioid effects. It can reduce pain without the associated addictive risks with conditional and conventional opioids. It does calm you down a little bit. It eases restlessness, anxiety, and insomnia. Looking to find a natural way to relax. Helps with muscle spasm. It has anti-spasmodic effects. That's when your muscle spasms is real bad, okay? And it's good for a cough, for respiratory irritation. So the way I tell you to use it is in a supplement form. I take it in a supplement form, okay? Some people drink it as a tea or an infusion, extract or tincture. And of course, I just say take it as a capsule. So here's some tips for herbal supplement safety. One, do your research, okay? And if your healthcare provider just tells you no, I'm not even going to talk about it, well, if that's the only option you have, that's the only option you have. But some providers, like myself, studied natural medicine. We call it alternative integrative medicine because we integrate it. And so, yeah, you know, till they tell us we can't even talk about that. Who knows? Now, if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking other medications, that's a discussion you have to have with the respective OB. Always start with the lowest dose, see how you respond to therapy. And get reputable brands to ensure purity, okay? Don't go with anything fly by night. You're not worth it. Your body is worth it. Natural remedies may take time to build up in your system to work. Here's my final thoughts. Herbal supplements offer a holistic way to manage pain, but to me they work best as part of a broader self-care routine. What do you think I'm going to say? Exercise, okay? Proper nutrition and mindfulness can amplify their benefits. Of course, now, a little controversial again is cannabinoid, CBD. Over the years, cannabinoid has gained significant attention for its role in alleviating pain, okay? CBD, cannabinoid, is one of the compounds in cannabis plant, not THC. CBD won't get you high. That's why it makes it a good choice for people with chronic pain. CBD interacts with the body's endocannabinoid system, which is a network of receptors that regulates various physiological processes, pain, sleep, and mood. Of course, it reduces inflammation. Excuse me for a moment, folks. I know that's an awkward moment of silence. CBD's anti-inflammatory properties can help reduce swelling from discomfort caused by arthritis or injuries. It can balance pain signals and interrupt pain signals. It promotes muscle relaxation, okay? Help with muscle spasms. For chronic pain, it offers an alternative to taking opioids. Helps with migraines, okay, and nerve pain. And if you work out hard, taking a little bit of CBD, I guess, could help with exercise-induced soreness, help you with the healing. So CBD comes in oils and tinctures, taken under the tongue, topical creams and balms. Comes in capsules and edibles. Well, here's the problem, okay? Now, it seems like they sell this CBD at smoke shops. And they do come available in vapes, but I don't recommend vaping whatsoever. And they come in patches. You know, whatever works for you. It is safe, okay? But the feds recognize it still as a class 1 drug. And the states most states don't care. Okay? So that's CBD for you. Where I work at, we don't recommend it. We can't recommend it, so I don't. You know, it does help with chronic pain, fibromyalgia, both rheumatoid arthritis and osteo. It can help with neuropathy and other nervous conditions, migraines and headaches. And you got to find out what works for you. We're just moving along here. It's 4:27. And apparently I gotta just say hi to Baby Buck for a minute. Hi, Baby Buck. All right, next we're going to go over some other naturopathics for pain control. And I'm getting to my, there we go. So, of course, I'm going to talk about acupuncture, acupressure, ear, auricular therapy for pain control. Acupuncture has been used for thousands of years as a natural approach to managing pain and wellness. It's rooted in traditional Chinese medicine, which involves inserting thin needles into specific points on the body to balance energy flow and stimulate healing. Acupuncture is based on the concept of qi, the vital energy that flows through pathways in the body known as meridians. Okay, by stimulating these specific points along these meridians, acupuncture aims to restore balance and improve the battle of the natural body ability to heal itself. Modern research has shown that it can affect these energy flows, but also stimulates the nervous system's ability to release endorphins and improves blood circulation. There's traditional needle acupuncture, insertion of fine sterile needles into specific acupuncture points. These are great for conditions like back pain, migraines, arthritis, and sciatica. Slight pressure or tingling sensation during the insertion, followed by a deep feeling of relaxation. Then there's electro acupuncture, small electrodes delivering a gentle electrical current to the points being treated. It's used for more chronic or severe conditions. It enhances the effects of traditional acupuncture and encourages faster healing. Now, I think that would be a better option. I'm still a little wary about needles, but whatever. And then there's auricular acupuncture or acupressure. And there's different points on the ear, and I've done a video about this. It's non-invasive, targeted pain for stress and relief. There's dry needling. It's done by a physical therapist, focuses on meridian points. Dry needling targets trigger points or knots in the muscles. And there's cupping therapy, placing heated cups on the skin to create suction, which improves blood flow, reduces tension, and alleviates deep-seated pain. It's good for the back, neck, and muscle soreness. And it leaves circular marks on the skin, and that's seen as a badge of courage. Did I say porridge? Courage amongst people that do it. Acupressure is another technique. It's usually from the fingers to relieve pain. You know, you can do basic acupressure techniques at home for quick relief. For many, these therapies are a drug-free way to relieve various types of pain. It's natural and non-invasive. It's good for chronic pain management, such as arthritis, fibromyalgia, and low back pain. Helps with mental health well-being. Definitely increases the blood flow, and more blood flow is always better. Typically, an acupuncture session lasts about 30 to 60 minutes. Post-treatment, you feel relaxed. Some people get immediate relief, some within a few sessions. Is it right for you? Of course, if you're pregnant or have a bleeding disorder, probably not. No doctor is going to say it's good for you if you have something going on. So I wanted to talk about another form of naturopathic healing that I believe in, that I do. It's Healing Touch Program, HTP. And it goes along the lines of the meridian for different body parts. And take out the bad energy and you put in good energy and healing energy. Look it up. It's called Healing Touch Program. I'm a level 2. My job actually paid for me to go to it, so I did. We'll talk about, since I'm growing tomatoes, okay? I want to talk about some prepper hacks to yield your tomato harvest for survival. But pretend the grid's down, stores are empty. The silence outside, it's deafening. In that quiet, the only thing you hear is rumbling in your tummy and in your family's tummy, okay? But what if I told you the key to quieting that hunger, the secret to honest to goodness survival, could be thriving in your own backyard, even if you only got a tiny space? I'm talking about tomatoes. They're not just any tomatoes. We're talking about a prepper's arsenal of crimson gold. Forget what you know about casual gardening. When the world truly goes sideways, your tomato patch stops being a hobby and it becomes a lifeline. Lots of folks think a few plants will be enough, but what happens when those plants give you a handful of fruit, or worse, die over? The hard truth is, most backyard tomato patches are nowhere near ready for a real crisis. You don't have to be one of them. Weeks into a crisis, okay, picture this, folks. You carefully save supplies and are starting to vanish. Canned goods are few, right? Fresh food, that's a nightmare. That's a dream. It's not going to happen. Look at your garden. You're supposed to be an ace in the hole and find a few struggling plants. The disappointment is a punch in the gut. The fear, you can taste it. This isn't just about failed harvest. It's about failing to provide. Failing to keep your family safe when they're depending on you the most. Standard gardening tips, the kind that assume you can pop down to the garden center and the conditions are stable. This won't cut it when supply chains are broken every single calorie that you need is a win. Today, we're not just talking about growing tomatoes. We're talking about completely changing your game, giving you the little-known prepper secrets to make sure you get massive tomato harvests, no matter what life throws your way. So you want to turn your live dirt into a survival engine, into food-producing powerhouses. Your path to survival-grade tomato harvest starts with before you even think about touching the soil. It kicks off with smart choices. Not all tomatoes are created equal. For the prepper, picking the right variety isn't just a suggestion, it's non-negotiable. You need plants that are naturally tough, fight off disease, and can roll with the punches. Forget the high-maintenance hybrids that need constant babying. We're after something resilient plants. Heirloom varieties are the prepper's best friend. These are tomatoes with a solid track record, passed down from generation to generation because they've survived and thrived, often without a lot of fuss. They're usually open pollinated, and that's huge. It means you can save seeds from your harvest. And they'll grow true to type year after year in a long-term survival situation. Controlling your seeds means controlling your food. Varieties known for strong disease resistance, especially against common blights and wilts, need to be on the top of your list. And look for ones that mention that they're drought resistant. Water could be a strict source. Now, you'll hear about determinate or bush varieties. These plants grow to a set size, give you a burst of fruit all at once, and then they call it a day. That's great if your main goal is a single massive harvest for a big canning season. But for my money, and for many preppers focused on long-term sustenance, indeterminate varieties are where the real magic happens. These are the champions that keep growing and producing all season long, giving you a steady, reliable trick of fresh tomatoes. Think about it, folks. Fresh food continuously when you need it the most. Yes, they'll ask for a bit more in terms of stocking and some ongoing attention to keep them thriving. But that extended harvest, that consistent supply, that's an investment that pays off in the scenario of survival. Look into longer keeper tomato varieties. These are botanical marvels designed to stretch out the fresh eating season without any refrigeration. Some can last for months if stored right, and that's a total game changer. Don't forget to research local heirlooms too, okay? So these are plants that are specific to your climate and challenges, giving you the home field advantage. You want to pick these resilient warriors first. The second hack I want to review, and I'm going to have a quick sip of my Mojo here. This is my microphone. I hope you can hear me. Soil magic. Building a self-sufficient foundation, they start with great soil. But when shit hits the fan, you're not going to run to the store for bags of fancy amendments and fertilizers. A prepper soil has to be built on self-sufficiency, using as few outside inputs as possible. The magic is creating a living, breathing ecosystem that feeds your plants naturally. Composting is an absolute cornerstone. Every scrap of organic waste, from veggie peelings, coffee grounds, eggshells, yard trippings. Now, some people say steer clear of diseased plants or nasty weeds. The way I see it, if you're going to let your compost sit for a year, put those nasty weeds and diseased plants in there, smash them up, break them down. A well-managed compost pile turns this stuff into nutrient-rich humus, which makes your soil structure better and helps it hold water and boost fertility. If you happen to have livestock, which I don't, but if you happen to have it, chicken manure is unbeatable as a soil enricher. Now, if you have the supplements, consider a 326 type of fertilizer. And then there's also CalMag that you can buy to prevent common deficiencies. Now, if you know me, I'm into electroculture therapy, where you have a copper antenna that draws energy from the Earth's electrical core, goes into the soil, and it helps with soil health. Know what your plants or your soil's pH levels are, okay? Tomatoes like it slightly acidic, between 6 and 6.8. If it's too acidic, you can get wood ash or lime. Who has lime hanging around? Wood ash you can have. If it's too alkaline, sulfur or even pine needles can help. Again, you're going to have to buy sulfur little pellets. I have them. And I believe in prepping with garden beds, okay? Fight the urge to till or turn the soil too much. Deep tilling can wreck soil structure and harm the beneficial microbial life your plant's on that they need. Instead, just loosen the soil with a broad fork or digging fork. The air gets in and roots can go deep without messing that delicate soil ecosystem. And think about how you're going to manage the soil surface, okay? The way I like to do it is planting carrots around the tomatoes instead of relying on traditional mulch. Carrots with their deep roots, okay, you know, some carrots get pretty hot, can act as a barrier, preventing pesky weeds from growing and competing for nutrients. And they also absorb excess moisture in the soil, which can help prevent tissues like root rot. You don't want that to happen. It's a living mulch, and this approach not only offers these practical and aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and you know that you're going to have food. It's a closed-loop system utilizing companion plants and natural amendments. That is the heart of the prepper's soil magic. Now, this is a lesson I can learn. Hack 3, strategic planting and early care, setting up for success. Your tomato plants can massively impact their strength and how much they eventually produce. For preppers, that means focusing on strong root systems and keeping transplant shock to a minimum. You want to make sure every single plant has the best shot at survival, giving you plenty of food. Starting seeds indoors is a really good idea if you're in a climate with a shorter growing season or unpredictable spring weather. This year I did them outdoors. Next year I will do them indoors to start. Or I'll put my prepper's greenhouse up and start them in the greenhouse outdoors. The problem is when you do it indoors, it doesn't always work out. I'm going to do a video on my I am going to do a video on my greenhouse or greenhouses once I get them built, and a quick how-to and what to. So stay tuned for that. So you got to know your growing season, and this is important. Always use a sterilized containers or seed starting mix. In a world where you can't easily grab fungicides, stop dampening off disease from the get-go is key. Nobody's going to do that. It's just suggested. Here's a vital prepper hack. Repot your seedlings deeply. Don't just do it once. Do it at least twice before they go into their final spot. Every time you repot burying a good chunk of the stem, tomatoes have this amazing ability to grow new roots called adventitious roots along their buried stems. More roots mean a stronger, bigger root system, and that directly translates to a plant that can handle drought better, sucking up more nutrients and additionally producing more food. So the way I do it, folks, is I raise them outside. Once they're big enough, I bury them. I do put a couple of the roots under the soil, and it's a good way to get you going. Frost is not your friend. That's what you got to be careful with, folks. So this is where a raised or an outdoor greenhouse would be beneficial. You can still start planting them in the winter in the greenhouse and let them grow in the spring in the greenhouse, and when they're ready to go, you got it. Water is life, okay? Especially for thirsty tomato plants. But water can be a precious resource, limiting how much you can have. Managing moisture the right way is one way to stop tomato disease in their tracks. The golden rule for tomatoes is to water deeply and less often instead of shallow and frequently. Deep watering makes tomato plants send their roots from further down into the soil looking for moisture. This builds a bigger, tougher root system, making the plants more drought tolerant and less needy for consistent watering. Shallow watering, on the other hand, encourages roots to stay near the surface, leaving the plants vulnerable when things get dry. Always aim for the base of the plant when you're watering. Try to not touch the leaves, leave them dry. Because wet foliage is just an open invitation for fungal disease, like leaf spot or blight. Okay. And of course, I talked about cover the ground with carrot companions because that helps manage the soil and reducing weed competition. That to me is the mulch, and it helps living it. For those of you trying to grow tomatoes indoors or in a greenhouse, when shit hits the fan, managing humidity is super important. High humidity can encourage mold and cause dampening off disease in the seedlings. Try to keep the humidity below 50% if you can. Good air circulation is your best friend. A small fan, even a solar power one, can make a huge difference in stopping stagnant moist air. So you want to prune your tomatoes, okay? To really squeeze every last tomato out of your survival garden, or as I call mine, the prepper's garden. You need to smartly prune and solid support systems, turning your plants into efficient fruit-bearing machines. Pruning, some gardeners debate it. It offers some advantages. The main goal is to get better air circulation around the plant and push all that energy in developing and ripening fruit. Start by snipping lower leaves once the plant is established, especially any that are touching the soil. Okay, those got to go. This helps stop soil-borne disease from splashing onto the foliage. And then you want to tackle suckers. These are the little plants that pop up a V-shaped spot between the main stem and the branch. If left unchecked, especially with indeterminate species, it can lead to a dense jungle that will yield smaller tomatoes and invite disease. So pruning the suckers is critical. So the way I see it, folks, is prune so you have about a foot of stem and let your carrots do their job. Okay? That way no fruit touches the ground or the soil. And pick tomatoes while they're still green. But I want big, ricey, red, juicy tomatoes, you say. And you'll still get them. But here's the inside scoop, okay? When fruit ripens fully to red on the vine, it's a signal to the plant that the mission's done. We're done, okay? They're not going to grow anymore. Time to slow production down. By harvesting the green tomatoes, you're essentially telling the plant, keep it going, keep the engines running. This encourages it to set more flowers and develop more fruit. Those green beauties can then be ripened indoors, stretching out your fresh tomato season significantly. You need reliable staking or trellising to keep those plants upright, which helps with airflow, less contact with the soil, and fewer soil-borne diseases. Sometimes you have to get creative with how you're going to keep those plants upright. I have a bunch of poles in my backyard that I attach to the plant or put next to the plant and it grows around it. So you want to prune it properly, okay? Natural solutions. In a world where chemical pesticides and fungicides may not be able to off the table or just somewhere, you want to learn the natural. Crop rotation is basic, but don't plant tomatoes or other nightshade members like potatoes, peppers, or eggplant in the same spot year after year. Rotate your crops helps break the life cycle of pests and diseases, stopping them from building up in one place. Now, companion planting is an old school effect that we do. I talk about carrots. I keep going back to carrots and tomatoes. They can release certain chemical compounds into the soil that can repel pests and help keep the soil cool and suppress weeds, giving you another crop to eat. Carrots thrive with basil, which can help repel pests like thrips and hornworms. Let me correct that. Hornworms and marigolds. Marigolds are flowers and they deter nematodes. Now here's the thing: asparagus, that takes a couple years to grow, and that has to stay in the ground. You can't move it around. But asparagus and garlic and onions are also good neighbors, offering protective benefits. You want to keep your tomatoes away from corn because they both, seek out. You want to keep your potatoes away from carrots. No, I'm fluttering now. You want to keep your tomatoes away from potatoes because they belong in the same nightshade family. That's what I meant to say. And that can cause blight. And you want to stay away from broccoli, cabbage, or cauliflower in the same bed when you're growing your tomatoes. Now, you want to help with the inflammation of your plant? Okay, get an aspirin, a 325 milligram aspirin, put it in 2 gallons of water, let it dissolve, and apply it to your plants monthly, and can help boost their immune system and increase resistance, making them tougher against diseases. You got to be vigilant. You got to check your plants regularly for any signs of trouble, leaves, spots, wilting, or any pests hanging around. Catching problems is important. So the way I see it, again, when I talk about composting, I compost everything, and it's a year before I reuse that in the soil. For common pests like aphids and spider mites, a strong spray of water can often knock them right off. Insecticidal soap, which you can actually make yourself with simple ingredients, can be pretty effective on soft-bodied insects. To make a basic insecticidal, you need pure liquid soap like Castile. Make sure nothing has any detergents. A common recipe involves mixing 1 to 2 tablespoons of this liquid soap with water. Some people add a tablespoon of vegetable oil per quart, which helps the mixture stick, and always use distilled water if possible. Always try it on a leaf first. For bigger pests like hornworms, hand picking, it works and is often the quickest and the most effective solution to helping your garden. Planting small flowered plants like dill, fennel, or yarrow can help attract allies to your garden, giving you a natural pest control. By focusing on preventative and natural methods, you can protect your tomatoes. You want to secure your harvest for the long haul. Growing tomatoes is one thing, but making sure they last through the season is a whole other. Preserving food effectively is just as important as growing it, right? Without needing a fridge or a trip to the store, which may not be existent. Drying is one of the old methods. Sun drying works like a charm in a hot, dry climate. Just splice your tomatoes, lay them out on screens, and let the sun do its work. A solar dehydrator, which can be a pretty simple DIY project, concentrates the sun's energy and makes drying even more efficient. For those with the means, of course, you hear that noise in the background, a Harvest Right freeze dryer offers unparalleled method, locking in flavor and nutrients for decades. I freeze dry my tomatoes. Freeze-dried tomatoes are lightweight, they don't take up a lot of space, and are packed with flavor. You can rehydrate them any way you want. Canning is another option. Canning is a staple for a reason. Properly canned tomatoes, whether they're whole, diced, or crushed, or turned into sauces or salsas, can last for years on out, giving you a taste of summer in the middle of winter. For tomatoes, which are acidic, water bath canning is usually good. However, always follow tested recipes and procedures to the letter. Adding a bit of lemon juice or citric acid is often recommended. Keep it acidic. Pressure canning is what you'll need for low acid tomato products if you're mixing tomatoes with low acid vegetables. Now, freezing is another simple choice. If you think you'll have access to power, even if it's just from a generator to solar, they can be frozen whole, which is good for tossing into stews, or made into sauce before freezing. Freezing changes the texture, so they won't be great for eating fresh, but they're perfect for cooked dishes. Now, here's storing fresh tomatoes in wood ash. This amazing technique can keep ripe but firm tomatoes good for an incredible 5 to 6 months without any refrigeration. Wood ash. The process involves layering sifted cool wood ash and tomatoes in a box or carton, making sure that the tomatoes don't touch each other. The ash creates a productive, dry environment that slows down spoilage. One source even notes that this method allowed tomatoes to be kept and sold when they were otherwise rare and expensive. Imagine having fresh tomatoes deep in the winter, long after the season's over, all thanks to this simple, low-tech solution. And our Section 8, Hack 8, Indoor and Year-Round Prepping, define seasons and scenarios. For the truly dedicated, just relying on a seasonal outdoor garden may not cut it. Being able to grow food, even a little bit indoors or year-round, makes you an incredible edge in harsh climates or when shit hits the fan is bad. Container gardening is your starting point for indoor tomato growing. Lots of tomato varieties, including the dwarf ones, do really well in pots. Just make sure your containers are big enough for the root system and have excellent drainage. Well, there you go, folks. That's the problem, drainage, right? You'll need extra lighting, shop lights, fluorescent or LED bulbs for seedlings, and you need grow lights. You want to mimic outdoors, okay? A small fan can help with the breeze, airflow, helps with pollination. Another thing you can pollinate is just shake the plants when they're flowering, so the male goes to the female and so forth. Okay. The other thing you can do is create your own greenhouse, like I'm going to be doing this week. It's looking at me right there. So I say get a greenhouse. The power to feed your family and be self-sufficient when everything is uncertain is paramount. These prepper hacks for maximizing your tomato yield, they're survival skills, okay? So every year when you plant your garden, you want to test yourself, see what works, see what doesn't. If you want to try to see how the wood ash works, and save up your ash for the end of the season. Don't wait for a crisis to smack you in the face. Try these resilient varieties, build your own soil, and get good results. Sometimes you fail, sometimes you don't. You want to fail when the times are good, so you're ready when the times are bad. Does anybody else have any garden hacks for tomatoes that you want to share? Please leave a comment. Share your wisdom and questions in the comments below. Let's build a community of prepared, resilient prepper growers. And hey, if you found this information valuable, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Tomatoes are good. Everyone should grow tomatoes. Okay. So I'm a big AR-15 kind of guy, right? Let me have a little sip of my drink here. Excuse me. I think I need to put this down over here. Then I'll knock it over. So the AR-15 is more than just a rifle. It's a modular platform. And it is, okay? But you can do so many modifications to it. It's evolved with new technology and engineering solutions. I'm looking at a couple of my ARs that I can't show on camera. Today, the industry is seeing a wave of advancements that are transforming performance, precision, and personalization. From AR-15 triggers to Bluetooth-enabled optics, today we're going to go over 10 groundbreaking innovations for the future of the AR-15. So there's our precision custom triggers. Custom AR-15 triggers are an essential upgrade for preppers, enthusiasts aiming to improve accuracy and smoother shooting. Adjustable triggers like those made by Timney and Gissel or Gisio Automatics allow users to fine-tune pull weight and reset times for specialized use cases. Whether you're competing or hunting or precision shooter, customizing your shooting style is a vital enhancement. All velocity triggers are coated with Armor Lube DLC. Armor Lube is a next generation diamond-like carbon fiber coating that makes all other wet lubricants obsolete and maximizes weapon performance. Velocity triggers are effective combination and low coefficient of friction and high micro hardness. So the Armor Lube results in greater wear resistance over the life of the trigger. Finally, a high-quality AR-15 trigger makes your AR feel like a fancy bolt-action rifle. Let's just be honest, folks, it does. Single-stage drop-in triggers that are compatible with 22, 5.56, and 308. You drop them in. If you don't know how to do it, get an armorer to do it. Okay. And next are carbon fiber barrels. They have weight reduction, heat resistance, and shooting accuracy. I have one carbon fiber barrel. They're made by Faxam Firearms and Proof Research, and these two companies lead the way in producing these lightweight and durable barrels. Not only do they improve heat dissipation, but they maintain excellent accuracy. Carbon fiber barrels last, similar to traditional steel barrels, between 15,000 to 200,000 rounds, depending on usage and maintenance. Okay. I have one rifle, and it's one of my lovely rifles. And then there's the quick detach muzzle brakes. Quick detach or QD muzzle brakes makes it much simpler to switch between suppressors or other muzzle devices. Popular models include the Surefire SOCOM, Silencer Chemo, or Silencer ASR. Different companies. These muzzle brakes are known for their reliability and compatibility across different suppressor systems. Now here's a cool one. Bluetooth-enabled optics. Having Bluetooth technology and optics is how shooters can gather real-time data. Companies like 6 Hour and Vortex are producing scopes and red dots with features like ballistic calculators, environmental data tracking, and shot recording. These optics enhance precision while delivering a connected experience for tech-savvy users. And then we have ambidextrous handguards that cater to both left and right-handed shooters, enhancing comfort and ability for divisive or diverse shooting firing positions. Leading companies include Aero Precision and Midwest Industries. So, you have some left and some right. And of course, there's some lightweight polymer and alloy compounds. Shaving off the weight of an AR-15 without compromising durability is a top priority. Polymer components, including lower receivers and furniture, as well as alloy-based courier groups, are becoming the standard in creating high-performance lightweight builds. And then you have slimline and modular chassis systems, okay? These newly designed slimline chassis systems offer a sleek aesthetic without compromising functionality. Modular designs makes it easier to add accessories or adjust ergonomics on the fly. Daniel Defense and Troy Industries are known for this. And one thing that, if you don't know, there's AR-15 adaptable calibers. So they have modular kits that you can switch between calibers, such as 6.5, 300 blackout, and .458 SOCOM. CMMG and Brunel's have these. So basically, it uses the same lower, but a different upper. And you want to make sure that you're putting the right round through the right barrel. You want to double check that, triple check that, okay? AR-15s can handle a variety of shooting scenarios, from long-range precision to close quarters power. So my long-range AR-15, okay, and the short AR-15 is my 224 Valkyrie. It can shoot out to 1,000 yards, and it's really just for shooting on paper. It's not some powerful, it's not for taking out game at 1,000 yards. I don't think anybody should shoot game at 1,000 yards unless you have a 338 Lapua and you have a good shot and you know what the hell you're doing, and a 50 cal, of course, if you know what you're doing. So there's such a thing as hybrid suppressors. Advancements in suppressor technology have resulted in hybrid suppressors capable of handling multiple calibers without compromising efficiency. Companies like Dead Air Armament, Rugged Suppressors, and Griffin Armament. Now, I have a Griffin Recce 7, okay, folks? And my Griffin Recce 7, I can shoot from, and I've shot from 300 Win Mag down to my 22. These give tactical and recreational shooters superb sound reduction with unparalleled flexibility and use. Why? Because, one, you've got to pay a $200 tax stamp to get get a suppressor. So why would you want to get one suppressor that's for one caliber only? You want to get, it makes no sense, get a multiple caliber. Now, I can't attest to which one has lower decibel systems, the multi-caliber or a single caliber suppressor. Now, even my 22 LR, okay, can shoot to 17 through it. I don't have a 17 because 22 is as low as I'm gonna go. 22 LR. On the other hand, I do have a suppressor for my 50 BMG that's pretty bulky that I would not add to a 338 Lapua. It's called the AAC Cyclops. It's a big suppressor, and it's meant for a 50 cal. And some 50 cal semi-automatics were not meant to be shot suppressed. I have a bolt action single shot. You load a round in, you charge it up, and you boom, boom, boom on a zoom, zoom, and it goes. And I tell you what, the recoil on it is beautiful. It's already low. It's equivalent to about a 300 Win Mag as far as the punch in the shoulder, because the rifle is so bulky. So now there's such a thing called digital trigger systems. The future of AR-15 performance lies in electronic trigger systems. Brands like Rare Breed Triggers and Franklin Armory are pushing boundaries by incorporating electronically enabled control systems, offering programmable pull weights, fire modes, and faster reset speeds. Think about it, folks. If you can adjust the pull weight of your rifle, what you need it for. Everybody's pull weight's different, depends on the size of your finger, the musculature, and what you like. I can't speak for you. I just like the average. When I click is what, a binary, I guess it's called binary. You click, and then it shoots. But whatever has in the system, I'm compatible with it. The new wave of AR-15 advancements is catering to every aspect of the user, from weight reduction to connectivity and unparalleled precision and customization. Whether you're a casual shooter, a tactical operator, or a competitive marksman, or a prepper for survival, these innovations are paving the way for more optimized and enjoyable shooting experiences. Well, folks, in my first giveaway, there was no winner for this first giveaway. Nobody left a comment on the 2 videos that I posted on YouTube. All it was supposed to be was what state you were from and something related to prepping. So no, I'm not giving away my book this week. I had some airway training supplies and some field medical cards. I was going to give away 2 sets, but nobody responded. So next week, I'll announce the giveaway on a live stream in the morning. Usually I'm on the way to work, but I'm on vacation next week. But I usually do my live stream 7 o'clock Central Time. And maybe somebody will respond and I can respond. Nobody responded today. And that's my show. That's my weekly Suburban Prepper update. Any questions? I want to thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this. I know I did. I like doing the research on my holistic and naturopathic health. In fact, I have my naturopathic books right there. I mean, I have a stack of books about that high for natural medicine, but that's the one I like to go to, the one that's only that high. That's the one I like to refer to for my naturopathics. Every week at work, I get motivated to write about a certain condition and how we can treat it naturopathically. And I think this week I'm going to focus on some dermatological conditions. I had a patient who had insect bites all over his hand. Okay. And he wanted to know what the natural treatments were for it. And then he digressed and says, "Oh, I know you can't tell me about that." I said, "Actually, I can. I did natural medicine. I studied it. And so off the top of my head, citronella. Okay. And then I had to think about it for a second. I grow some in my front yard every year, a little bit. Some tincture of, what's that stuff called? Lavender. Okay. And a little bit of peppermint. And you just rub it on. And that's a great way to resect, keep away bugs. Spray it on. Now, when you got the bite already, that's where you need the natural steroid topical stuff you can put on. We'll focus on that too later. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I can't really tell who's here or who's not. I got to work on that part. I'm not responding to comments or anything yet. And it shows, to me, it only shows that one person's watching me. So whoever that person is, Thank you for watching, but I'm sure there's more people. This is Suburban Prepper. Have